Hello everyone! Last time, as we started our journey diving into the story of Anduin, we spoke about his family troubles, being a young but gifted diplomat, and finding his connection, his path with the lights. Varian is beginning to see that his son is growing up, ready to spread his wings, and in some cases, he is far wiser and stronger than his father could ever be. So far, Anduin has been his counterbalance when that Logar side roared to the surface. It's taken time, rituals, and patience, but Varian is becoming a better man, partially in thanks to his son. Then, on the other hand, there's Auntie Jaina, whose mindset has always been very similar to that of Anduin's, hoping that the world, Alliance and Horde could see beyond faction and come together. But that all changed with the bombing of Faramore. Thrall had left the Horde in the care of Garrosh, and our war chief Hellscream rallied his Horde to war. The destruction of Faramore, it had Jaina wanting revenge, expecting Varian to immediately jump on board. But that's where the king surprised her. They would strike back, but they would do it on their terms, rationally, prepared for war, and that's when she decided to turn her back on them, regretting the part that she had played in filling Anduin's 14-year-old head with naive dreams and wishes. Now the prince was not a mewling pacifist. He understood the need for striking back now. There comes a time when even the kindest heart must say, no, enough, and that time had come. They could protect their people, but they didn't have to do it with hatred in their hearts. Now obviously, Anduin himself didn't join him on the battlefield, but he did see his father off, knowing full well that the king might never return. But Varian wasn't worried. Their people had Anduin to take his place, to rule well and justly. He would do his very best to be a good king to them, but would just as soon not be for a very long time. Now thankfully, his father returned victorious, while even Jaina decided not to go through with her plans of flooding all of Orgrimmar. She wouldn't forgive the Horde either though, for what was done, taking up position as leader of the Kirin Tor. Safe to say that tensions are pretty high between the Alliance and the Hordes, as our adventures take us into a previously hidden land.
200 ships at my disposal, yet the one carrying my son goes missing.
The trust built up. It had Varian let his son go out on diplomatic missions, but en route they got in combat with the Hordes, made landfall in the wondrous lands of Pandaria. Adventurers are quickly sent out to recover the missing White Pawn, who they eventually did find. The prince has had quite a few adventures, and he got some help from the local Pandaran, but he has no intention of going home quite yet.
Prince Anduin, we've come to take you home. Come quietly now.
I'm sorry, but I won't. I'm sure you understand my reasons.
Eh? Oh, you're absolutely right, Prince Anduin. You're free to go as you please.
The darker side of being a priest, it's not unknown to him, invading someone's mind and convincing them of whatever he wants them to think.
What? Oh, I can't believe he did that to me.
There is more to be learned after all within these strange but also dangerous lands. And soon after, he finds himself captured by the Hordes, but able to get out with his head still on his shoulders. He then made his way to the Temple of the Red Crane within Krezarang Wilds, where he met with Chi-Ji, one of the August Celestials. His time with the Red Crane, it was short, but he still learned a great deal under his tutelage. The lands of Pandaria, they're infected with the Sha, the physical manifestation of emotional turmoil, which was bottled up for centuries, but all of us bring a war over. It's like offering the Shah banquets. All across the continent, it's causing trouble now, so we help up clean up the mess that we made, like saving the Red Crane from the Shah of Doubts. Now next time that we run into Anduin, that's at the Temple of the White Tiger within Kunlai Summits. We really want to get access into the Veil of Eternal Blossoms, but so far, we haven't really made the best of impressions, and they're unsure whether or not they should open up the gates. Anduin's words and our actions, they make the difference though, and the White Tiger makes the call.
It is decided. I will open the gates. The Veil of Eternal Blossoms will be open for all.
Thank you, Master White Tiger. You will see. I believe that my people and the Horde are essentially good.
I will consult the others. Meet me at the gates.
I find your faith inspiring, little one. But I wonder if you have ever met our war chief.
Really wonder if the prince had any doubts in that moment, when even Sunwalker Desco questioned trust in the war chief. But the choice was made. The veil was opened up, and eventually the might of the Alliance and Horde made landfall in Pandaria. Hellscream still had war on his mind, and he saw the land rich with people, resource and power. Power, like an ancient Mogu artifact, which was called the Divine Bell. In times long past, it would empower warriors, fueling their hatred and anger, lending them strength on the field of battle. Just the thing that Garrosh was looking for. So something that the Alliance desperately wanted to keep out of his hands. They managed to find it first, hide it away within Darnassus, to which the war chief, he used their forces in Dalaran within the Kirin Horde to steal it back. Now remember, Jaina was the leader now, and already not happy with the hordes. This betrayal didn't exactly make things any better, but that didn't change anything about Garrosh now having the Divine Bell. So heroes, they joined the prince in finding a solution. They liberated the Monkey King, followed his riddles to craft the harmonic mallets. With it in hand, they confronted the war chief and put a stop to his plans.
Your interference has cost me a great warrior, young prince. You'll pay with your life!
That is where you are wrong, Garrosh. The Mogu made the Divine Bell to create chaos, but the Pandaren created a special mallet to turn the echoes of that chaos into perfect harmony. That mallet was hidden for thousands of years, until now.
Die, whelp!
Garrosh attacked my son? Where is he?
Anduin!
Oh, Anduin, what were you thinking? I should have sent you back to Stormwind.
He's alive, but his bones are shattered.
Send for Velen. Bring him here at once.
That's a lot of damage, but worth it, as not only did we stop Garrosh, Anduin also gained somewhat of a superpower. Ever since this moment, his bones would ache whenever he's on the wrong path, when he's being cruel, or thoughtless, or courting danger. A bit of a bonus of being crushed by Garrosh. Now healing up from the wounds, it was gonna take a bit of time though. Perfect opportunity to make a brand new friend, in the form of the Black Dragon Raffion. He's quite a unique dragon as well, considering that the rest of his flight is corrupted by the old gods. You might recall his father Deathwing breaking out of the worlds, but due to our aid and experiments, Raffion's different, fully focused on safeguarding the world no matter the cost. The two of them spend a fair bit of time together, having quite different views on what the world needs.
Benevolence is a luxury for the strong, young prince. No great empire was ever built with kindness.
I'm not so sure about that. But I can tell you no great empire has ever stood the test of time by crushing its own citizens. Remember, the Mogu were overthrown. That should be the lesson of the Thunder King. It's your move, by the way.
I worry you may be too soft to wear your kingdom's crown, Prince Anduin. You would do well to learn some of your father's hardness.
Are you lecturing me? You're what, 2 years old?
2 in dragon years. It is your move.
Raffion has seen the coming of the Burning Legion, and worries that a divided Azeroth will not stand a chance against it. Eventually putting his money on Varian and the Alliance to overthrow Garrosh and dismantle the Hordes. The Black Prince was pretty upset when all his efforts meant nothing.
Already they plot against us. Seize this moment, Varian. Dismantle the Horde.
Guardsmen!
Father, what are you doing?
What a king must do.
Vol'jin became the new war chief of the Hordes, while Garrosh was put on trial for his crimes. In Pandaria they gathered to recap what had happened, passed on judgment to Hellscream, while the orc, he made a special request. He wanted Anduin to come visit him in his cage to speak with him. And since he wouldn't speak to anyone else, they really wanted Anduin to do this. Perhaps he would say something that he could use for their case, but to Anduin, it was more about someone in trouble that had asked to speak with him. How could he say no and still stand in the light? And so, orc and human spent some time together. Despite all that Garrosh had done, even to him personally, Anduin still believed that he could change, just as much as anyone else could change. Not surprising, with role models like Varian and Jaina that had proven that to him, so why not Hellscream? And over the course of the book, you almost start to believe that Anduin might be right, that there's more for Garrosh in his future. That's to say, if he even has a future, considering that he's being on trial and all. On top of that, we also got the Windrunner sisters, who don't want to leave anything to chance, and they plot to poison him. Verisa and Sylvanas work together, sending him his true last meal. But seeing Anduin, it has Verisa remember her 2 children, and she's feeling doubts. Believing the light to be at work here, she decides to surrender her choice to the teenage prince, letting him make the call to let Garrosh live or die. Not an easy choice to make, as their last conversation was not exactly a pleasant one, with Garrosh promising Anduin that by the time that he becomes king, the orcs will come for Stormwind. They'll race through the streets and kill all of his people. They'll place his soft little peace-craving body on a pike and burn the city down. And in whatever afterlife your precious light grants you, your parents will wish Queen Tiffin had miscarried. Anduin wanted to stop Garrosh from speaking, ever. To blast his mind and wipe all that it was to be Garrosh Hellscream from it. He knew how to use the light. He could use it now, not as a shield to protect or a balm to heal. He could use it as a weapon. Maybe Verisa had been right. Maybe the light was at work. It was going to take care of Garrosh Hellscream. All Anduin would need it to do was stay silent. But of course he didn't. That's not who Anduin is. He still warns Garrosh not to eat, and is even kind enough to make sure that they don't fully chain Garrosh up to get to his final judgment. What he didn't know, however, was that the trial, it wouldn't really mean anything. Not just because the Celestials would always choose for life. For where there's life, there's the opportunity for change. There's more at play here. His buddy Raffion is actually working together with the Bronze Dragon Kairos. And as Anduin requested, Raffion had observed the ongoings here. He'd observed the trial, watched, listened, made up his mind as to what is best for Azeroth. As the last Black Dragon, the former charge of his flight, to keep Azeroth safe. It falls solely to him, and he's come up with a brilliant idea of setting Garrosh free, sending him over to an alternate reality, to then form a brand new horde. Bring that horde over to our Azeroth, to stand with us against the Burning Legion. So he wasn't kidding when he told the prince,
I don't trust you.
You are wise not to.
Yet, while trying to prepare against the threat he had seen, Raffion actually made it happen. Garrosh was not gonna play their games, murdered Kairos the moment they arrived, and then kicked off the expansion Warlords of Draenor, which ended with our command defeated, but also alternate Gul'dan sent back to our reality. He then opened up a massive gateway at the Tomb of Sargeras, which kicked off the Expansion Legion, and the biggest invasion of the Burning Legion as of yet.
My son, a terrible darkness has returned to our world. As before, it seeks to annihilate everything that we hold dear. I go to face it, knowing I may not return.
They're coming! They're coming back!
All my life I have lived by the sword. I've seen kingdoms burn, and watched brave heroes die in vain. It's been difficult for me to trust after losing so much. But from you, I have learned patience, tolerance, and faith. Anduin, I now believe, as you do, that peace is the noblest aspiration. But to preserve it, you must be willing to fight.
The father had learned much from the son, now even capable of working together with someone like Sylvanas and the Hordes. They led the charge onto the broken shore, with heroes of the world quickly catching up. They ran straight into the death trap, as it turned out. The might of the Legion, it was overwhelming. The Horde unable to hold their position. Sylvanas was forced to call the retreat, and Silverian saw no other choice but to give his life so that the Alliance could retreat as well. Anduin would, a few years later, get his opportunity to ask the Banshee Queen if she had indeed betrayed his father. Later, she would question her choice in responding, but in this moment, she had no desire to offer falsehood. Anduin Wrynn's destiny was set in stone, little lion. The Legion's numbers would have seen to that. Whatever choice I made that day, his blue eyes searched hers for the lie, and he found none. That didn't change the fact that some amongst the Alliance, they called out for blood. People like Gen and Jaina, they wanted to make the Horde pay for this so-called betrayal, while others like Vel and the Prophets, they thought that their focus should be on the threat of the Legion, and Anduin agreed. The now King of Stormwind, still a boy in truth, yet wise beyond his years, he found himself picking up the mantle of leadership again in Azeroth's greatest hour of need. For some reason, they also decided to pass on the overall leadership of the Alliance to him. Varian, he had held the position before, but this came after a vision granted by Elune and with a say from the other leaders. For some reason though, they decided that it should just instantly pass on to Anduin as well. Yet, to be fair, over his short lifespan, Anduin, he's hung out with nearly every high-profile character that the story has to offer. Often, he gives sound advice, or he knows the path to be taken before any of the other adults do, so he's definitely not the worst choice for that position. It's just a bit odd that it became something like a Wrynn bloodline passed on through the family. Although, Sylvanas once described the respect that the other leaders give to Anduin, that was a courtesy and not an obligation. Either way, the war against the biggest Legion invasion as of yet, it played out with heroes of the world bringing their order halls together. The compass that we saw in the cutscene, it was a gift that Anduin had crafted for his father's birthday, given to him a few months before his ship ran aground within Pandaria. That compass is brought back to the king, and ever since, he's become listless, distracted, refusing to eat or sleep. They understand the need to mourn, but the king's place is on his throne. And since we're the ones that brought him the compass, we're also the ones asked to go speak with him, see if we can help him get back to his duties. Now our young Anduin, he has his father on his mind, and the future. His father was a legend after all. He oversaw the rebuilding of Stormwind, stood toe-to-toe with dragons, led the Alliance to numerous victories, and then, one day, he was just gone. It's Anduin that wears his crown and holds his title, but he has done nothing to earn them, or the faith of his people. Spending his time in the keep, surrounded by guards and advisors, it gets him nowhere. He needs to walk the streets of his beloved city to know whether it is hope or fear that beats in the heart of his people.
I have not returned to Lion's Rest since my father's memorial was moved here from the keep. The war has consumed all of my energy and attention. I've not had a moment to grieve. Since you brought my father's compass back to me, I've prayed to the light for guidance, and to know his spirit is at rest. The light doesn't answer. My people like me, respect me, but they don't believe in me. Not like they believed in him. I've heard the voice of the people, but how do my father's advisors feel? I fear they do not trust me as they did my father. I must know. It seems Gen and Velen are speaking about me, but I can't quite make out the words.
The young king will become a great leader. I have foreseen it.
Visions don't win wars, Prophet. The boy has a good heart, but he's untested.
The light is strong with Anduin. He will grow into his crown. We must have faith.
We need more than that, and so does he. Anduin wasn't there on the broken shore. He hasn't seen the sacrifice his soldiers made, that they continue to make. A king must know the weight of the orders he gives, the price of them. If a compass breaks his spirit, how will he respond when the war arrives on our doorstep?
Anduin believes that they're right, that they're absolutely right. The time has come for him to leave the safety of the keep and travel to the broken shore himself, to witness the place where his father died.
This land is far worse than I had imagined. My father sought to shield me from the war. insisting I stay behind because a Wrynn must always rule in Stormwind. But I saw the truth in his eyes, his fear of losing me. When my mother died, I was all he had left of her. Time and time again, I have watched from afar as the heroes of Stormwind fought and died to preserve peace on Azeroth. My father was not the first king of Stormwind to die fighting the Burning Legion. My great-grandfather, King Barathon, and my grandfather, King Lane, also paid the ultimate sacrifice. The kings of my family have always fought shoulder to shield with their soldiers for the freedom of Stormwind. I have lived my life sheltered by the blood of heroes like Tyrion and Bolvar. Heroes like my father. The time has come for me to do the same. Take me to the place where my father died. I must see it for myself.
Here. This is where his father fell.
The boy has never known the horrors of the Legion, as we have.
No. I haven't.
Anduin.
How could you just leave?
I had to come here.
My boy, you don't need to see this.
You never surrendered. Even here, at the very end. I cannot do this, Father. I can't be the hero you were. I can't be the king you were.
Anduin, your father's actions were indeed heroic. They were his challenge to us, his people, to never let fear prevail, even at the very gates of hell.
What am I supposed to do now?
What a king must do.
This moment right here, it was quite the turning point for Anduin. He might have changed his father, but so did his father change him. Now Velen mentions that he foresaw the young king as a great leader, a vision that had come to him while Anduin spent his time amongst the Draenei. Then there's also a comic which shows a possible future for the king. Much older and hopefully much wiser, he recalls the letter that his father had written him, as with Velen at his side, they make ready for the final battle against the Shadow. From this, I've had quite a few people ask if that means Anduin's fate is set in stone, but I personally don't think so. Not only does the Blizzard writing team change their mind on the story direction around every 2 years or so, not only have we seen what happened to Anduin right now, so who knows if he'll ever make it to that age, there was also a big part in Legion that was all about fate and destiny.
You are not coming with us.
The hunter is nothing without the hunt. Did you not see this fate, prophet?
Fate. Our survival was never in fate's hands.
So I don't think it's safe to say that Anduin will become the way as we saw him in the comic. But then you might wonder, what is the future going to bring him? That bit and so much more is something we'll talk about next week. So for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!